Scoob, are we alone? Yeah, Reggie. Good. Hello, everyone. Scooby and I are here today to talk about something we'll never speak about again. What's that, Reggie? We're here to talk about Scrappy. Scrappy-Doo is a fictional Great Dane puppy created by Hanna-Barbera Productions in 1979 with catchphrases Scrappy as we do, let me at him, and puppy power. He is the nephew of Scooby-Doo. Scrappy has appeared in a number of the various incarnations of the Scooby-Doo cartoon series. He was created to save the show's ratings, which by 1979 began to sink to the point of cancellation threats from NBC, who were considering choosing between Scooby-Doo and an unnamed pilot from Ruby Spears Enterprises. Scrappy was initially seen as a good idea by Saturday Morning Review, though he did have his critics. He was a loved character whose show on merchandise and reruns, but in later years, the presence of Scrappy-Doo has been criticized as in the various Scooby-Doo series of the 1980s. Now, these Edward Johnson and Wise Ryder didn't really mind Scrappy when they were kids, watching reruns of the show in the 1990s and early 2000s, but now they realize how he got on people's nerves. Personally, I never really liked Scrappy to begin with. What about you, Scoop? Anyway, before the internet, there was very little indication that Scrappy wasn't well liked. Mark Evanier stated that saying that people loved Scrappy, with the ratings going up immediately after his introduction, saving the show. Although creators of Scooby-Doo, Joe Ruby and Ken Spears, who would later go on to found and work as producers at Ruby Spears Enterprises, were also not fond of Scrappy. With Joe Ruby, producer of the show that lost to Scooby-Doo, even calling Mark Evanier to congratulate him for helping Scooby survive with their new product. However, in 1988, according to Tom Ruger, the Scooby franchise, which had begun experimenting with the supernatural format all throughout the 80s, decided to return to its roots with a pup named Scooby-Doo. The same year also saw the release of Scooby-Doo and the Galactic Werewolf, the last major Scooby media featuring Scrappy as a major protagonist. However, it is clear from the later articles that Gen Zers did have a bone to pick with Scrappy, whose main source of ire was the unconfirmed yet long-held belief that Scrappy was the direct cause of radically changing the format. It is unknown where this rumor originated from, though the earliest example of it in circulation is in Jim Corcus and John Colley's Encyclopedia of Cartoon Superstars, where Colley states, however, the addition of Scrappy eliminated the majority of the regular cast. Colley, when questioned of this statement, responded, and as for the fluctuation of the Mystery Inc., it was often done just to freshen the series and make it look new. It is why some series had real monsters and some did. You might say they just kept rebooting the show as time went on. When Archie gained the rights to Hanna-Barbera in 1995, both Bill Valley and Mike Kirschenbaum, the writers of the series, both acknowledged that Scrappy was hated and even attempted to remake his personality in response to that. But the animosity was too great, and Scrappy got the boot from the series midway. After Archie Comics concluded as a series, DC Comics picked up rights and produced Scooby-Doo for some time after that, and continued with Scrappy being gone. Cartoon Network gained the rights to Scooby around 1995 and promptly set about making it its most shown franchise. Scooby, which had been dormant for the last few years aside from comics, soon became quite heavily rerun over the place. Around 1997, an anti-Scrappy ribbon began to circulate, which was pinned to news web pages at the bottom. And a small group of intense Scooby fans, it gained popularity and was advertised in various web links, calculating in the beginning hated. Soon after, in 1998, John Hain published his Jump the Shark website, a site dedicated to complaining about unwelcome changes to beloved shows, the very thing that Scrappy was blamed for. Scrappy was entered in on the Scooby-Doo section and was voted as the top JTS caused by approximately 1,500 people. His website gained newspaper coverage by Marine Data in September 1998, who published an opinion article entitled Scrappy-Doo Spoiled Scooby-Doo. Though Scrappy actually featured very in the article, and said the article was written with a political punchline in mind. Word picked up and the Jump the Shark and Scrappy's president in it were soon republished from 1998 to 2001 in newspapers across the country under various titles, some which included Scrappy and some which did not. 1999 was the earliest mention of the Scrappy Stinks game by Cartoon Network, which had acquired the rights to Scooby a mere 2 years before. Though Scrappy had been eliminated from the comics, he was still popular enough to be a star of a Cartoon Network Presents feature. At midnight of October 31st, 1999, Cartoon Network aired several promos over the gang's disappearance. One was a promo involving the gang before a fight with Scrappy, who was his usual cheery self. Scrappy was first mentioned to be in the live-action movie in April 2000. It is uncertain whether he was the villain or not. Gunn only states that his future wasn't bright, and a previous draft had Don Knotts as the villain. Personally, I think they made the right choice. It wasn't Scrappy be the villain. It was around this time that Cartoon Network began showing the first negative appearances of Scrappy in the form of promos. In March 2000, Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, one of 3 movies, was released on VHS. Though the actual movie within was unaltered, Scrappy was missing from the cover, as was Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School and Scooby-Doo and the Wanted Werewolf, respectively. The first live-action Scooby-Doo film that came out. Anyway, Scooby and I are going to get us quick snacks, so see you later. Scooby-Doo!